The city of Susa thrives with frenetic activity. Its markets a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds. A multitude of people from across the Persian Empire flow through the city's heart, their diverse attires painting a vibrant mosaic of cultures. High above the city's clamor, the majestic palace of King Ahasuerus glistens, a testament to power and grandeur. In the opulent throne room, King Ahasuerus sits, embodying power and authority. Advisors stand silently around him, their presence underscoring his supreme command. Gold and jewels adorn the room, mirroring the vast wealth and formidable power of the empire. The banquet hall is alive with celebration as princes and nobles revel in the empire's wealth. King Ahasuerus, intoxicated and boastful, commands attention from his throne. Amidst the revelry, King Ahasuerus proclaims, "Bring Queen Vashti forth. Let all assembled witness her unparalleled beauty." In the queen's chambers, Queen Vashti stands defiant, her eyes blazing with indignation. Servants whisper in hushed tones, their faces etched with fear as they observe the unfolding drama. The opulent chamber, usually a haven of tranquility, now vibrates with unspoken tension. King Ahasuerus sits heavily on his throne, his face flushed with rage and humiliation. He gestures wildly, his voice echoing through the vast hall as he addresses his advisors. In the grand throne room, King Ahasuerus sits solemnly on his ornate throne, his advisors surrounding him, their presence commanding attention. The air is thick with anticipation as King Ahasuerus listens intently to the council, his face a mask of contemplation. King Ahasuerus rises from his throne, his voice echoing throughout the hall as he declares the banishment of Queen Vashti and calls for a search for her replacement. King's officers journey across the provinces, their eyes searching for unparalleled beauty. In the city of Susa, young Hadassah resides in a modest dwelling, her life shadowed by the weight of being an orphan. Mordecai, a righteous man, watches over her, his face etched with concern. A somber mood fills the room as Mordecai delivers a heavy decree. Hadassah, you must conceal your Jewish identity. Hadassah, now known as Esther, enters the palace harem, her eyes wide with apprehension. Preparations commence as the young women await the start of a rigorous 12-month beauty regimen. The air fills with the exotic scents of perfumes and ointments, a sensory immersion into a new world. Esther moves through the harem, her quiet strength a stark contrast to its opulence. Her presence catches the eye of Haggai, his gaze acknowledging her unique grace. Esther receives exquisite treatments, her skin glowing with a newfound radiance. Garments of unparalleled beauty are draped upon her, whispering tales of luxury. Esther stands before King Ahasuerus, her presence filling the throne room. King Ahasuerus beholds Esther, her beauty capturing his heart. The king loved her more than all the others. In the grand throne room, King Ahasuerus delicately sets the royal crown upon Esther's head. The crown's weight is nothing compared to the burden of her new role. Light dances off the jewels, painting her face with fleeting rainbows. The court explodes with cheers, a wave of sound filling the throne room. The streets of Susa pulse with life as the people celebrate Esther's coronation. Amidst the revelry, Mordecai stands hidden in the shadows, a sense of foreboding weighing on him. Despite the celebration, a sense of unease settles upon me. Mordecai strains to overhear two officers whispering in hushed tones. Mordecai, hidden in the palace shadows, desperately writes a message. His quill scratches frantically, each stroke filled with urgency. With trembling hands, he seals the message, his face a mask of desperation. In the throne room of the palace, Mordecai's heroic deed is etched into the royal chronicles, a testament to his valor. But as time passes in the palace, the memory of Mordecai's deed fades from King Ahasuerus' mind. In the grand throne room, Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, stands tall, basking in the glory of his elevation. His newfound power radiates from him as he surveys the room, savoring the moment. A palpable tension fills the air as Haman declares, "From this day forward, everyone shall bow before me." Mordecai stands tall at the palace gate, unyielding in his resolve. He refuses to bow, his defiance echoing in the silent air. "I will bow to no man." Haman's face twists with fury, a tempest of anger threatening to erupt. Haman storms back and forth, his features twisted in fury as he unleashes his wrath. Zeresh observes him, her eyes gleaming with sinister calculation, as Haman shouts, "That Mordecai, he refuses to bow, he defies me at every turn." Zeresh whispers, fueling his rage, "Husband, you cannot let this stand. His insolence is a stain on your honor." Haman's advisors exchange worried glances, their faces reflecting their apprehension. Advisor 2 cautions, but his words only serve to ignite Haman's fury. But Mordecai is a Jew, and they are a stubborn people. Zeresh's venomous suggestion hangs in the air. Then punish them all. Why stop at Mordecai? Eradicate the source of your trouble. Haman's eyes blaze with newfound resolve as he declares, "Yes, yes, you are right. I will not only punish Mordecai, but all of his kind. The Jews will pay for this insult." In the opulent throne room, Haman advances toward King Ahasuerus, his face a mask of fury as he denounces the Jewish people as rebels. With honeyed words, Haman convinces the king to decree their annihilation, promising a staggering 10 talents of silver as recompense. "Your Majesty, the Jewish people are a rebellious and disobedient group who threaten the stability of your kingdom. I propose a solution, issue a decree for their extermination, and I will personally pay 10 talents of silver into the royal treasury as a gesture of my loyalty." King Ahasuerus, swayed by Haman's offer, agrees to the deadly scheme. "Very well, Haman, let it be done. Draft the decree and ensure the swift execution of this plan." King Ahasuerus, without investigation, makes a fateful decision. The king seals the decree for the extermination of the Jews. Messengers of doom gallop across the vast empire, each clutching a decree that seals the fate of an entire people. The dust plumes behind their racing horses mark the path of impending destruction, as the extermination of the Jews on the 13th of Adar looms closer. Their mission drives them relentlessly towards distant cities and forgotten villages, spreading fear and despair with every stride. Mordecai tears his clothes, overcome with anguish upon hearing the decree. He covers himself in sackcloth and ashes, a public display of his profound sorrow. Mordecai ventures into the streets of Susa, his cries of despair echoing through the city. In her chambers, Esther sits on her throne, a picture of regal poise, yet a shadow of unease crosses her face as her maids whisper urgent news. Her voice laced with concern, Esther inquires, "What troubles Mordecai? Why does he sit at the gate in sackcloth?" Esther commands with regal authority, "Send Hathach to him. Bid him learn the cause of this great distress." Mordecai, face filled with urgency, extends a scroll towards a messenger. He commands the messenger to deliver it swiftly to Esther. He hands over a copy of the decree, its ominous words stark against the parchment. Esther trembles in her chamber, her heart pounding with dread. She remembers the law. Entering the king's presence without invitation means death. Mordecai watches the messenger leave, the scroll representing Esther's fate clutched tightly. He turns, his gaze full of conflicted emotions sweeping over the bustling city of Susa. Esther, her eyes filled with determination, decides to risk everything for her people. With swift resolve, Esther begins to write a message, the weight of her decision evident in every stroke. The royal crest imprints on the message, sealing Esther's desperate plea. In Susa, the Jewish community is united in solemn fasting and prayer, their fates hinging on Esther's mission. Their hopes and destinies are intertwined, each silent plea a testament to their collective will. After 3 days of fasting, Esther prepares in silence, girding herself for what lies ahead. Esther slowly dons her royal robes, whispering, praying for strength and courage. Esther enters the throne room, the heart of the palace, where every shadow holds watchful eyes. King Ahasuerus sits on his throne, a figure of immense power and imposing presence. Guards stand motionless, their eyes following Esther's every move. With each slow step, Esther approaches the throne. In the grand throne room, King Ahasuerus beholds Esther, her presence commanding his attention. Her beauty and courage move him deeply, his heart swayed by her unwavering spirit. He extends his golden scepter towards her, sparing her life. In the grand throne room, King Ahasuerus sits heavily on his throne, his face etched with the burdens of rule. He gestures towards Esther, his eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and curiosity. King Ahasuerus asks with royal generosity, "Esther, what troubles you? What is your request? I promise to give you even up to half the kingdom." Esther stands regally in the throne room, her hand sweeping toward the lavish banquet table. Haman is overjoyed, his face glowing with pride and anticipation at the prospect of dining with royalty. However, a shadow of unease darkens his thoughts as Mordecai's image surfaces in his mind. Mordecai remains unbowed at the palace gate. Haman storms before his advisors, his face contorted with rage, fueled by Mordecai's defiance. He still refuses to bow. That wretched Mordecai. Haman's fury fills the room. Lord Haman, this insult cannot stand, one advisor declares, igniting the fire of revenge. Build a gallows, my husband, Zeresh urges, her eyes gleaming with vengeful resolve. King Ahasuerus writhes in his bed, the darkness of the royal chamber amplifying his unrest. Flickering candlelight casts eerie shadows, deepening the palace's silence. Tormented, Ahasuerus commands, "Bring me the royal chronicles. I cannot sleep." Flickering candlelight illuminates ancient tapestries as the king studies the chronicles, his brow furrowed with concern. The chronicles reveal Mordecai's heroic act of uncovering the assassination plot. Mordecai has never been rewarded for his service. King Ahasuerus sits on his royal bed, face lit by candlelight, lost in thought. The king gestures, a question hanging heavy in the air. What should be done for the man whom the king delights to honor? In the dimly lit royal bedchamber, Haman leans forward, anticipation glowing in his eyes. He imagines himself draped in royal robes, riding on the king's horse, paraded through the city by one of the king's most noble princes. Let the man be dressed in royal robes, ride on the king's horse, and be led through the city by one of the king's most noble princes. King Ahasuerus, draped in royal robes, gestures emphatically, his stern face reflecting his commanding voice. With unwavering resolve, King Ahasuerus commands, "Haman, do exactly as you have suggested for Mordecai the Jew." Haman leads Mordecai through the streets of Susa on the king's horse. Haman shouts, "This is what is done for the man whom the king delights to honor." Haman arrives at his palace, each step burdened by the weight of his profound humiliation. His advisors gather, their voices hushed as they deliver a chilling prophecy. If Mordecai is of Jewish descent, he will surely fall before him. In the opulent banquet hall, King Ahasuerus and Haman sit tensely at the table. Esther's meticulously prepared banquet does little to ease the palpable tension. The weight of unspoken words hangs heavy in the air. The grand banquet hall glitters under candlelight, an opulent display of wealth and power. King Ahasuerus, enthroned, his gaze fixed on Esther. The king speaks, his voice echoing in the hall. "Esther, what is your petition? Tell me, and it shall be granted." Esther stands before the king in the opulent banquet hall, her face a mask of sorrow and determination. The banquet hall, usually echoing with merriment, is now heavy with unspoken tension. Esther breaks the silence, her voice trembling slightly. "I must reveal to you a truth that chills me to the bone." Her voice gaining strength, she declares, "I am a Jew, and Haman has plotted to exterminate me and my people." King Ahasuerus, consumed by fury, rises from his banquet seat, the revelation of Haman's treachery igniting his wrath. Under the cloak of night, King Ahasuerus wanders the palace garden, seeking solace. The banquet hall gleams with opulent decorations under the soft glow of candlelight. Haman kneels before Esther, his face a mask of desperation. "Please, Esther, spare my life," Haman pleads, his voice trembling with fear. King Ahasuerus strides back into the opulent banquet hall, his presence commanding attention. His gaze hardens, locking onto Haman, who lingers too closely to Esther. A dark rage floods the king's face as he witnesses the scene. King Ahasuerus explodes with fury. "Are you attempting to assault the queen in my own house?" Torches flicker, casting shadows across the opulent banquet hall as the king observes the revelry with a detached gaze. An eunuch, face etched with urgency, approaches the king, disrupting the opulent revelry. The eunuch bows deeply, delivering grave news. "Your Majesty, I bring grave news. Haman has constructed a gallows. It is intended for Mordecai." In the grand banquet hall, King Ahasuerus, consumed by rage, turns toward Haman. His voice booms through the hall. "Hang him! Hang Haman on the very gallows he prepared for Mordecai." In the opulent throne room, King Ahasuerus gestures expansively, sunlight flooding the polished surfaces. Esther receives the deed to Haman's estate. In the opulent throne room, Esther gestures with royal command. Mordecai stands before her, head bowed in respect, eyes gleaming with unwavering resolve. "Mordecai, I appoint you to take charge of Haman's estate. May justice and wisdom guide your hand." Esther stands before the king in the opulent throne room, her expression a mix of hope and desperation. The air is thick with tension as Esther prepares to speak, her voice trembling slightly. "Your Majesty, I implore you, reconsider the decree. The Jewish people are innocent," Esther pleads, her voice filled with urgency. Esther's voice rises with emotion as she declares, "To exterminate them would be an act of unspeakable cruelty." King Ahasuerus sits heavily on his ornate throne, his face etched with worry. Sunlight pierces the throne room, casting long shadows as he declares, "I cannot revoke a decree that has been sealed with the royal ring. It is the law." A moment of decision hangs in the air before King Ahasuerus proclaims, "However, I grant you, Esther and Mordecai, the authority to write a new decree, one that allows the Jews to defend themselves." Throughout the empire, Mordecai's decree echoes, empowering the Jews to defend themselves against their adversaries. Emerging from the palace, Mordecai is arrayed in royal splendor. A crown of pure gold adorns his head, a symbol of his ascent. Clad in fine linen and purple, Mordecai ignites jubilation across the city of Susa. Throughout the vast empire, Jews stand defiant on the 13th of Adar, ready to confront their adversaries. A fierce battle erupts as they clash with their enemies, fighting for survival and the safety of their loved ones. Amidst the chaos, the Jews emerge victorious, crushing the wicked schemes of their oppressors. Among the vanquished are Haman's 10 sons, their evil plots silenced forever. In the opulent throne room, sunlight paints the scene as Esther stands regal and composed before the king. Esther declares with poise, "My lord, the Jews have slain the 10 sons of Haman." Esther implores with grace, "I beseech thee, grant them leave to defend themselves yet another day." Across the empire, Jewish communities stand defiant. Locked in fierce battles, they defend their homes, striking down those who threaten them. Their relentless defense persists, each passing moment a testament to their resolve. King Ahasuerus sits upon his throne, his presence commanding as sunlight fills the hall. He raises a jeweled hand, his voice echoing with the weight of command. "Let it be known throughout the land," he declares, "these days shall be called Purim." His voice resonates. A time for the Jews to celebrate their deliverance and remember God's faithfulness. The streets of Susa burst into life as the Jews celebrate Purim with joyous feasting. Gifts of food pass from hand to hand, spreading the spirit of generosity and communal joy. The poor receive offerings, their faces lighting up with gratitude amidst the jubilant festivities. Mordecai sits at his desk, lost in thought as he recounts the events. With unwavering resolve, he carefully folds and seals each letter. Each letter carries a vital message addressed to the Jewish communities scattered across the empire. Mordecai urges them to observe the days of Purim. In the heart of the palace, Mordecai stands as a beacon of authority and wisdom. Elevated to second in rank, he tirelessly dedicates himself to the welfare of his people. Scrolls and documents lie in neat stacks on the nearby table. The city of Susa basks in peace, a testament to the resilience and faith of its Jewish inhabitants. Esther and Mordecai's bravery echoes through the streets, ensuring the safety of their people.